Thank you so much, Tapshi and Shankar. I feel like it's going to be a tough act to follow after that, where I'll be just basically telling 3, 4 lines about what we do over here. But nonetheless, we'll do my best. I'm Shreya for the people who don't know me. I work on content and social media for Shenomics and also the book club. So before I move into the book club, I want to ask a question about books. So in the chat, if anyone can just write which was the book which left you a very lasting impression that you hold very dear to your heart, regardless of like how time has passed, but that one book is something that is still very, very dear to you, and you can read it like possibly 1,000 more times. Okay. Atomic Habits. This is one of the books we've read as well. Doors Way to Light. Okay. My Life in Full. They're very similar books that we have read, so it's so nice to read these. Nice. Amazing. Okay, that's amazing. So to give you a brief about what the book club is, I think last year around September, Bhavna and I was speaking about just what, but like, so it's so great to read books, even if it's like short books, like fiction, non-fiction, it's just like an inner dialogue, and you're just like having a good conversation with yourself in the brain. And it helps you, it stays with you, and you don't even know how it like changes you in all the positive ways. So we were just casually discussing, and then we ended up building this community of book club members. And since then, we have grown quite a bit. And this is our 10th book club meeting. And every month we have it by the end of the last Friday. And this time we wanted to club it with the summit. And so here we are. And today we're going to discuss about The Conscious Parent by Dr. Shefali. And while most people would think that you have to be a parent to really understand the book and to have a child to understand the book, but in general, I think we all have an inner child where you can sort of learn about your inner self. The inner child never really dies or goes away. It just stays there, and it has its way of expressing itself to you. So if you have a child, if you don't have a child, you have a pet, if you have plants as kids, whoever is your kid, this book is something that you can learn a lot from. Just think of it in the sense, what is a parent-child journey? Is it a learning? Is that journey for you a journey of learning together, or is it journey learning for just the kid? So with that, I won't take more time, and I will hand over to Bhavna, who will explain the book a little in brief for the first 15-20 minutes. And after that, for, I guess, 30 minutes, we will put you all in small breakout rooms where you can discuss some questions that Bhavna will encourage you to discuss by the end of her talk. So yeah, over to you, Bhavna. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shreya, for that wonderful introduction to the book club. And even I'm thinking, how are we going to follow a serious discussion about parenting after all those laughs? But hopefully we are now recharged, and we can actually really now shift gears and have this conversation. And as Shreya said, even though this book, The Conscious Parent by Dr. Shefali, is about parenting, but actually, exactly as Shreya said, it is about parenting your inner child and really addressing your own needs. And when you do, then you rise as a conscious individual. And when you rise as a conscious individual, it helps you live and lead better, no matter what role you are playing in life. So that is the first thing I wanted to say. Also, the reason why we made this a part of the summit this year is because, one, there is so much wisdom out there in the world, and I know so many of you are on this journey of learning and growing and really consuming and applying the wisdom that is in so many great books out there. Is such a powerful way for us to continue on this journey of living and leading more consciously. So the Conscious Book Club is very, very close to our hearts, and that's why we wanted to make it a part of the summit as well, because we wanted to bring it out to the wider community. And finally, and most importantly, I know you've all been behind screens watching us, and I know you've been enjoying a lot of these sessions, but you haven't yet really had a chance to meet each other. And with this now, this next section, most of it is going to be in breakouts. We want to give you a lot of time to just meet each other. There's so many wonderful women here. And I know if you meet with each other and you speak to each other, especially around a topic that we all care about, it will help you form those meaningful bonds with each other, which hopefully can continue on beyond the summit as well. So I'm going to take just maybe less than 10 minutes to go through maybe one or two or three key ideas from the book. So I can give you a set of questions that can guide your discussion when you are in breakouts. So we are going to put you into breakouts of maybe 4 or 5 women each. So you get to meet the other wonderful women who've come here. And then once after the breakout, we'll come back and then we will finally wrap up. So just give me 10 minutes, maybe less. And let me take you through some key ideas that can hopefully guide your discussions. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. All right, so this is the book, The Conscious Parent, and it has a foreword by Dalai Lama. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful book. I first turned to this book when I became a mother, and in the initial years of being a mother, I was having a very, very difficult time, and I needed some help, some support, because there are very few places we can go for this kind of guidance. Most places where you go, it's all about, oh, it's so wonderful to be a parent. It's so wonderful to be a mother. You must be overjoyed. You must be on cloud 9. And the actual struggles that so many of us go through behind the scenes, we have very few outlets to actually discuss those honestly and with all the vulnerability. And I'm so glad this book came to me at the right time, because it really helped me step up in a meaningful way in my journey to becoming a mother. Since Shreya's already asked you about your favorite books, I am going to skip this question. So as I mentioned, I will just share quick 3 ideas, and then we'll have the rest of the time have you discussing the book with each other, the ideas with each other in the breakouts, and then we'll wrap up. Here's the first idea, and I think this is a powerful one, which is, if you want to become a conscious parent, it begins first by raising your own level of consciousness, not the child. I know many of us, many a times, are looking for some easy answers about, okay, how do I discipline my child, or how do I make my child work harder, or how do I help my child with this goal or that goal? And it's a lot about, it is rightly so focused on the child, but in conscious parenting, the foundation that you create first and foremost is you focus on yourself. And I think this next quote really sums it up by Dr. Shefali. It's no surprise we fail to tune into our children's essence. How can we listen to them when so many of us barely listen to ourselves? How can we feel their spirit and hear the beat of their heart if we can't do this in our own life? And this is really the foundation of conscious parenting, to first look within, which is the idea we began this summit with. Look within and ask yourself, are you taking care of your own needs? Are you fully nurturing yourself in the best way possible? Because if there's any kind of lack, if there's usually, that is when we try to fill that gap or that hole in our lives with our children, but in a not so healthy way, because we may try to live out our dreams or our our hopes through our children, and then that's too much of a burden for them to bear. Why not instead really focus on yourself and really try and fill that space yourself? Because then when from that place of wholeness, when you approach parenting or any relationship in your life, it is so much healthier, and you really create that space for the other individual to show up fully, not as someone who has to carry your own needs or dreams forward, but they can they have the space to fully be themselves because you are taking care of yourself. So the first question I would love for you to discuss in your breakouts is, what is a need of yours that you would like to fulfill to become a more conscious parent or individual? Is there a hobby, an interest, or some unmet need? Maybe you're not creating enough space in your life for really that me time that we all crave, or something that is important to you that maybe you're not, other than parenting, that is important to you that you're not making enough time and space for, or maybe just self-care. Whatever it is there something which, if you devote more time to, if you nourish that need, it will allow you to step up. It will lead you to becoming a more conscious individual and parent. So that is the first fundamental idea. Now, the second idea is, and this is an interesting one as well, and this is something if you're not able to reflect on it today, because we don't have maybe all that much time to go into this, but I leave this thought with you as something you can reflect on after the summit. But one of the other core pillar that Dr. Shefali talks about is to recognize that how we parent our child is influenced by how we ourselves were parented. So if there is something, and I think our parents, of course, were doing the best they could. They parented us at whatever level of consciousness they had at that time. And of course, our parents have also evolved since then. We are constantly evolving. So it's not about making our parents wrong for anything. I don't think that's what she's saying. But just recognizing that they may be, to just really look at what kind of patterns you may have in the way you are showing up as a parent, and is any of it connected to how you were raised. If you are showing up as a very strict parent or controlling parent, and I know in the early days I was all of that, and I would also get angry very often, and I could connect the dots. I could connect the dots because I could see where it is coming from, and once I could connect the dots and realize, oh, okay, I can totally see how this is connected to how I was raised and why I am also showing up in similar ways. Just that awareness then allows you to then ask, okay, how can I change this? What can I do differently? So here's another beautiful quote from Dr. Shefali. When you parent, it's crucial you realize you are not raising a mini-me, but a spirit throbbing with its own signature. For this reason, it's important to separate who you are from who each of your children is. Children aren't ours to possess or own in any way. When we know this in the depths of our soul, we tailor our raising of them to their needs rather than molding them to fit our needs. So again, this idea of really taking a good look at yourself, because only when you are showing up as an authentic and conscious individual do you create that space where your children can also show up authentically, and you are not imposing anything on them, or to address any kind of fears or concerns or anxieties you have that actually don't even have a lot to do with your children. For example, our idea, I mean, it's a good one question she asks all parents to think about is, what is your definition of success, and where does that definition of success comes from? Because our definition of success is what we impose on our children. We expect them to live up to certain standards, that definition that we have. So to ask yourself, well, where is this definition coming from? Is it coming from culture? Is it coming from society? Is it coming from whatever the definition of success you were raised with? And to just ask yourself, where is it coming from, and is it the right definition? Or should you create the space where your children have the freedom to come up with their own definition of success, and you're not imposing your standards or the world's standards on them? So again, just something to think about. So the question here would be, are you seeing certain patterns which you, as a parent or as an individual, that you would like to break, so that you can create that space where your children can be their true, authentic selves? And the third pillar that Dr. Shefali talks about in conscious parenting is, if you want to raise an authentic child, you have to meet the child where it is. Fully accept your child wherever they are. Raise the child in front of you. Don't raise the child you wish you had. And this is something I remember in the first 2 years, because I had, my child was someone who just would not, for example, sleep through the night, and was also a very spirited child during the day. It was just so exhausting for me. And I remember at that time, I would look at other children who were like a lot calmer. And I'd think, wow, this person got so lucky. And so, I didn't even realize that so often I was doing this comparison in my mind, comparing my child to other children, or comparing the child in front of me to the child I wish I had. And of course, when we're doing that, any kind of comparison between our children or other children, or between what's in front of you and what in your head is a vision you have of how your child should be, that prevents your children from really being their true self. Then they start molding themselves to who they think they should be to win your love, who they think they should be to make you happy. And that may not be their true self. And so really asking this question, is pondering over this idea, is also very important. And so related to that, once you accept your children's basic nature, you can contour your style to meet their temperament. To do so means letting go of your fantasies of yourself as a certain kind of parent, and instead evolving into the parent you need to be for the particular child in front of you. So really practicing full acceptance, and doing what you need to do to create that space, that freedom for them, in which they feel fully comfortable expressing who they truly are, not who they think they should be to make the world happy or to make you happy, but who they truly are. So the final question is, how can we, and I mean, this is not something that we may easily even admit to, that we might be doing this, but many a times we do. We don't fully practice that acceptance to the greatest extent that really allows the child to be who they want to be. So on that note, And maybe these, even if you get through one of these questions, that is perfectly fine. We want to give you about half an hour now to discuss these 3 questions in your group. So we'll put you in breakouts. You will be with just, each group will be no more than 5 individuals. Please take time to introduce yourself and what brings you to the Conscious Woman Summit. And just go around the room, maybe just 1 or 2 minutes each per question. Share what comes up for you. And even if you can't get through all 3 questions, that's perfectly fine. You can simply use that time to talk about what are some ideas you have for what has helped you become a conscious parent and what can continue to help you on your journey to becoming a conscious parent. So just bear with us for a few seconds. We're going to create the breakout rooms, and you have, it's entirely up to you to join these breakout rooms. Highly encouraged that you do, so you get to meet each other, and then we'll come back and wrap up. All right. I hope you all had a wonderful discussion. Would love to hear from all of you if there was a key insight or idea or learning that you just had from your small group discussion that you had with fellow conscious women. Tell me in the chat, what was one idea that really stood out from your discussions? Great, Amuda, I'm glad you got to meet two other wonderful women and have a good conversation with them. Fully accept yourself. Yes, it does. It does begin with full self-acceptance, because when we fully accept ourselves, we give other people more freedom to be themselves as well. More me time, finding me time. Yes, I do hope. One of the reasons why we fill this summit with so many conscious pauses is we really wanted to bring home this message that your self-care, your well-being is so important. All right. Nivi enjoyed her conversation with Tanushree, Dilpreet, and Ketaki. Every child is unique and every stage of their life is unique. So well said. Yes. Yes. Mom's guilt is yes, it's a constant facet of parenting. Stand by your child. It was a delightful conversation. Pause is a must in life. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so glad to see all these wonderful takeaways from your conversations. And on that note, I would like to now bring this to a close. I want to thank you all. The fact that there are 78 of you still around is so beautiful, because I know it's a Saturday afternoon and you could be doing 100 other things right now, but you are here because you so believe in living and leading consciously and being part of this community of wonderful souls who also believe in the same thing as you. So before I let you go, I want to dedicate a very special poem to each and every one of you, because I think this poem speaks to that fighting spirit, that resilience, that desire that you all have to rise as conscious women and as conscious individuals, conscious parents, conscious leaders, conscious consumers, all of that. Before I dedicate this poem to you, and also just want to take a quick minute to thank 5 very special women without whom this summit would not be possible. And you know who you are. Sri Lakshmi, thank you so much. Pooja Mathur, Charu Mathur, who's been behind the scenes this whole time. By the way, they're not related. But both are very special. Tapshi Danda and Shreya Pandey, thank you so much. I really cannot thank any of you enough. And I see Charu with tears in eyes. Don't you make me cry, okay? I want to see a smiling face right now on everyone's face. Because this is a very special moment. This community, all of you are so dear to us, and we put our heart and soul into everything that we do for all of you. It really means the world. And there's all these women are so special because you have no idea how much heart and soul they put into everything that they do. So very special thank you to all of you, and also the Wizcraft team. This would not have been possible without you. So thank you. All right, now finally, before I let you all go, I do want to read out this poem to you, because I think it really captures the soul and spirit of every single woman here. And this poem is Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room, just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides. Just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide. Welling and swelling I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream. I am the hope. I rise. I rise. I rise. And with that, I would love to see all these beautiful women, all of you, as many of you, if you can come on camera. We'd love to take one final group picture with all of you. Okay, let me see, who all can I see? Can we please move to gallery view now so you can take me off screen? We can take our final group picture and bring this summit to a beautiful end. Okay, I still cannot see a gallery view from my side. Charu, can we take me off the screen here? Okay, yes, I can see everyone. I can see Aarti, I can see Soumya, I can see, I'm struggling to read all the names, but oh yay, at least I can see you all. That's wonderful. Okay, so here's what we do. We make a little heart. We make a little heart. As many of you can come on camera, and we'll have someone take a quick picture with all these beautiful smiling faces. Yay! All right, group hug to everyone. Take care of yourself. Wish you all the best on your journey to living and leading consciously. Stay in touch with us. We have many, many wonderful things planned for you. So stay a part of this community because we have to do this together. Thank you, everyone. We wish you a wonderful rest of the day and wonderful weekend. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bhavna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bhavna.
Thank you, Bhavna.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, Alakshmi. Bye.